How y'all doing? Haven't talked to you in a couple of days. I've been kind of caught up in this book. It Is What It Is by Manswell Peterson. It's a dramatic, erotic thriller. It is what it is. Go to Amazon.com or Manswell Peterson's website and check the book out. It's an eye-opener. And between a discussion that took place on Marcus Randolph's Facebook page, big shout out to you, Marcus, about a woman leaving a man simply because he wasn't satisfying her physically, and this book, I thought it was about time that I talked to the men. You know, I've talked to the women about how to treat you, and in turn I've talked to the fellas about how to treat the woman, and then, you know, I've called some things right down the middle that fit both of us, you know, women and men. But tonight I'm going to address a very touchy subject that may shock some, rouse some, or upset some people. We often hear about men being unfaithful in their relationships and their marriages. It happens. Women cheat too. Sure they do. And they cheat for reasons that I don't think a lot of men really understand, or their egos may not allow them to want to know. Women have the same desires, urges, and appetites as men do when it comes to sex. In other words, they like it, they need it, they want it. However, the double standard, society, and the way a lot of us are raised don't allow for the sexual expression in the same way that a male does. In other words, when I was growing up, I was taught to cherish my body, to value my body, and to know the dangers of being promiscuous, loose. And I was made keenly aware of the social stigma of what happened to a girl who made a reputation for being easy. Men, on the other hand, don't have that problem. If a man is a ladies' man and he has several women and he sleeps with several women, he's a player. If a woman does it, she's known as a whore or a hoe. So, if a woman grows up with that belief and she finds herself in a relationship where her physical needs are not met, she may be very discreet about how she chooses to meet those needs. Here's where the interesting part comes in. She doesn't open her legs to another man until her heart is opened to another man. If she's, you know, a woman that is not loose. Now, fellas, you got to face it. Some of y'all married a hoe. Some of y'all married a hoe. She never loved you. She married your status, your income, your assets, but she didn't marry you. Sadly, in the back of your mind and in your heart of hearts, you knew what you was getting when you got her. For you, this will not be really educational. It won't even be enlightening because you know you got a hoe to start with. and she's just doing what hoes do. The only advice I can offer you is that sometimes you just have to let a hoe be a hoe. Sign the papers and let her go. Now, for those of you who are married to women who are married to you for real, for all the right reasons, she's there for better or worse. She's there with you to be there in sickness and in health. She loves you, she honors you, she cherishes you. She may even be of the school of thought that she obeys you. Basically, you got a good woman and you know you got a good woman. If you want to keep her, you might want to listen to me. Women do cheat. All women don't cheat. All women are capable of cheating because we're human, just like you men are. All people do not cheat, but all people are capable. Open your eyes, open your ears, and you can reduce the likelihood of her opening her legs to another man. Right now, I can even explore with you why it is so easy for some women to take a man back after he has had an indiscretion or has been unfaithful, and why when a woman has been unfaithful, that brother just can't bear it. He can hardly take it. Oftentimes when a man cheats, it doesn't necessarily have to be that he is in love with the woman, that he cares about her. He could go out on a random night, meet a woman in a bar. If she's willing to have a one-night stand with him and he's curious about her, he's attracted to her, he may have seen her around or just met her, he'll go for it, have a physical release, get up, and if no real serious information was exchanged, he might not even know anything about her. And when he sees her 3 or 4 weeks later or 2 weeks later with a different hairstyle, might not even recognize who she is. It's a ding-ding thing with him. He was just out there doing something. May even regret it and may pray to God that his wife or his girlfriend or his woman doesn't find out. But when a woman cheats, it's unbearable to that man because more than likely, it's not just physical, it's emotional. And before she laid down with that brother, he had a little piece of a heart. And men by nature don't like to share. None of us do. But a man just can't bear for any other man to have a part of his woman, a piece of his woman, or any access to his woman at all. That's why they can't bear it. That's why some of their egos are so fragile that they can't even accept the fact that their wife is capable or their woman is capable of stepping out on them. Pay attention to your woman. Every now and then, you need to take the time to pay her some attention. Give her your undivided attention. Listen to her. Do some of the things that she likes to do. Some of it, most of it, doesn't cost you a thing. Spend some time with your woman. Hold her. Talk to her. Not just sit there and, even though I'm telling you to listen to her, engage her in a conversation. Truly listen to her and share with her and talk back. That builds intimacy. Your woman wants to be intimate with you. Emotionally intimate, physically intimate. She wants to know that you that she matters to you. And see, some of you brothers are under the impression that because you've bought the big house and the big car and you've given her this lifestyle, that that's all that you have to do, that she should be grateful for that, because there's so many women that would love to trade places with her. Yeah, some of them will want to trade places with her until they find out that she has a man who is so arrogant that he thinks he's bought her, and that she's a possession of his, like his car, like his house, like his clothes, and he's put her off on a shelf and he neglects her, and he comes to her and pays her attention when it's convenient to him. Some of you are even so arrogant that you believe that being a 5-pump chump is sufficient. I've even heard some of you say, well, we start at the same time, we ought to finish at the same time. You that brother that's going to be sitting up crying in your beer, wondering how a regular blue-collar fella, a fella who don't make nearly as much money as you, doesn't have as much of an education as you, and can't give her the things you given her, had her ankles up on the shoulder. Yeah, I know that sounds graphic, but I'm telling you, that's how it happens. That's how that guy who may not even have a job is driving your Escalade while you at work. Because some of y'all are too arrogant to listen to your woman when she tells you, whether it's verbally or with her physical response, that you ain't doing what you think you're doing. Some of y'all are with some very beautiful, attractive, intelligent women that some men would desire to have, even if for one night. I'm not saying she'll go out there and find a man that will love her and take care of her. That's the chance she takes if she cheats. But trust me, brother, there's somebody that will appreciate what you want. There's somebody out there who instinctively knows what to do. And then there are those that will be willing to listen and learn what she likes. And if you're not, you're losing out. Don't be so arrogant that when your woman tries to tell you something or show you even something new that would enhance your physical relationship with her, that you don't pay her any attention. Some of y'all are like the big bad wolf when he got to the brick house. You huffing and puffing, but you ain't blowing her house down, honey, for real. And if she's old enough, grown enough, and realize how short life is, she ain't finna fake it no more. And she might tap you on your shoulder one night and say, I can't do this no more. We need to talk. And as bad as that sounds, you better listen. And if you don't listen, you're going to be the one trying to act hard, like it ain't hurt you like hell, when you realize that the woman that you had is gone, and the fella that she left with didn't have to do nearly as much as you did to get her and keep her, because he was willing to do something that cost absolutely nothing. He paid her attention. He listened. He took the time to learn, and he put in some time with that woman. Like I told you in the other video, you better find out what she likes and do that. And I know some of y'all gonna say, well, it's easier for a man to find a woman than a woman to find a man. Well, you also better look at this. Granddaddy might not have never known how to satisfy grandmama, but grandmama had 9 children and didn't have anything but a high school education, and times were different for women then. Women out here now are heading companies, founding companies. They got CEOs, they're MBAs. These sisters can take care of themselves. And brothers, a lot of them have options. You're her first option. She might have some others. And she might exercise them. All I'm telling you is, you can be doing everything that you think is wonderful and great. But if you're not paying attention to your woman, and on top of that, you're so selfish and egotistical that you're not putting it down in the bedroom, unless she has no other way by which to support herself, She may not be content with being quiet and just laying there looking at the ceiling, counting how many more pumps till you finish, and just laying there suffering in silence. It's a new day. And they're going to find a new way. And if you're smart, you'll be a part of it. Now, some of these y'all ain't going to like. Some of y'all ain't going to take the time to listen to the end of this video. You'll be that bitter brother calling all women bitches and whores. Because you didn't have a bitch or a whore. You just had a neglected woman who got tired of feeling alone, unappreciated, unsatisfied, and frustrated. In the famous words of the book title of Manswell Peterson, it is what it is.